Welcome to Astrology 101 with Jamie and Mary.
It's Jamie.
It's Mary. Today we are going to be talking about the new moon in Libra, and we will be talking about some of our celebrity crushes and seeing if there is a pattern in their birth chart compared to like our birth chart. No, not compared to our birth chart, just between amongst themselves.
Yes. A pattern in who you're attracted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do we want to start with the celebrities or with the new
Absolutely.
moon? Okay, so do you want to go first?
You should go
Okay.
first.
So of course, my very first one is
Yep.
Luke Hemmings.
Mm-hmm.
And as we know, he is a Cancer sun, a Cancer moon, and a Venus in Gemini.
Yep.
And no, I didn't find none of my people I put there rising except for like the one person because I didn't. It wasn't
Couldn't
listed for the
find
rest
them.
of them. Yeah,
It's hard to find the rising if you don't have
the birth
a
time.
birth time.
Yeah.
That will definitely dictate, which I'm really trying to figure out. I'm trying to remember how I can know what somebody's rising is just by them telling me what their birth time is,
Mm.
because I think there's specific signs for specific times of day,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm trying to figure out, or I'm trying to train my brain
Yeah.
on how to to remember that shit.
Yeah.
I'm studying that right now.
My next one is Michael Clifford, who is the other guitarist for 5 Seconds of Summer. And he is a Scorpio sun, a Libra moon with a Sagittarius Venus. And then we have Nicholas Holt, who is a
I'm so glad
actor.
you didn't say Nicolas Cage.
No. Nicholas Holt, he
No.
plays have you seen X-Men First Class?
Yeah.
He's the kid that plays Beast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always thought he was cute.
He
He's
is
just
I
charming
love him.
in a
And then
nerdy kind of way.
he plays in Warm Bodies. He plays a
Yeah.
zombie, and he
Mhm.
plays in Hulu's show The Great. He plays the Russian leader, and I don't know.
Oh,
He
okay.
played the Russian emperor is so aggressive, and for some reason, I in that role I find him more attractive, and I think it's the aggressiveness. But he himself, Nicholas Holt himself,
A
is
short story on that real quick.
okay.
So, my friend Courtney used to have the biggest crush on Tom Felton, who
Okay,
is Malfoy on in
yeah,
anyways. So, when the new Planet of the Apes movie came out, the I think it's called Rise of the Planet of the Apes,
yeah,
with James Franco in it. Tom Felton played an asshole who was just one of the zookeepers,
yeah.
um in one of the scenes, because Caesar got placed in there. He had to get taken away, got placed in there. And so Caesar, the ape, was outsmarting Tom Felton. So Tom, would get angry, um, and try to assert his dominance as a human over the apes and stuff, like he had done with the other apes. And he was banging on the cages and stuff. And so we're seeing this in the theater, and it's literally almost only her and I in this theater, aside from three other people
Mm.
somewhere else. And so he's banging on the cage and getting pissed off and stuff. And Courtney leans over to me and goes, "I like it when they're angry." She always
Oh my
has
gosh.
one-liners like that fucking kill
That's
me.
so funny. Um, Nicholas Holt, though,
Mhm.
he is a Sagittarius sun with an Aries moon and a Venus Capricorn. And
Mm.
I swear I once saw that he had an Aquarius rising,
Mm.
but I don't remember where I saw that.
It really is hard to get information on the risings,
Yeah.
because it's okay, did somebody do some digging and look into, I don't know, some public forum and get somebody's birth time off of their
Right.
birth certificate or something? How are these celebrities just releasing their birth times to the
Right.
internet? What's going on?
The next one is Cillian Murphy, who I thought was a Cancer, but he's a Gemini. He's a Gemini sun with an Aries moon and a Venus in Taurus.
Hmm.
So like yet again, another Aries moon.
Hmm.
Um, Josh Hutcherson, who is a Libra sun with a Taurus moon and a Venus in Scorpio.
Honestly, looking at him, I can physically see the Taurus moon.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just the way he's built.
Yeah. Josh Katz, who was a singer for one of the bands I likes, that's the guy I couldn't find the birth chart for,
Mhm.
but his sun sign is Cancer.
Oh, okay.
Matthew Lillard, who is
Mhm.
an Aquarius sun with a Leo moon and an Aquarius Venus.
There's your major attractive
Yeah.
or attractedness to him.
Yeah. Taylor Lautner, who is an Aquarius sun, a Taurus moon, and a Capricorn Venus. Evan Peters, Aquarius sun, Libra moon, Sagittarius Venus.
Oh yeah. Evan Peters.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
Brittany Murphy. I find her so attractive. I love her so much. She is a Scorpio sun, a Scorpio moon, and a Scorpio Venus.
Jesus.
No
God
fucking
damn.
wonder.
Very alluring.
You can see it in her face though. Her appearance screams Scorpio to me.
Screams smolder. My God. She
uh
is on fire.
yeah. Elle Fanning, who is an Aries sun, a Virgo moon, and a Pisces Venus. And then Sam Claflin, who plays Finnick in the Hunger Games series.
I don't remember who that is in the Hunger Games.
Finnick. He is the guy that Katniss thinks is betraying them, but he's actually part of the resistance. He's the older lady in the second one.
He's the older lady in the
He,
second one.
He admires her. She was his mentor, and then they end up going into the second games together.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's Finnick O'Dare.
Okay.
The guy that plays him, I find him so unbelievably attractive. And he is a Cancer Sun, Pisces Moon, Leo Venus. Also, I would like to note that I did have Elle Fanning's rising sign, and she is an Aquarius rising.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah. My Venus
I feel like
never
she
fails
has similarities to you.
me. Elle Fanning?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I don't know, looking at her.
Are you thinking of the right Fanning girl? Because there's two of them.
I am not thinking of Dakota Fanning at all. I don't find similarities.
I like Dakota Fanning as a actress, but I mean, she's pretty, but I'm not like attracted to her.
Yeah, no, I feel like I could see like a family resemblance between you and Elle Fanning.
Okay.
If you were in Hollywood with Hollywood money being put all over you like she is, I feel like you just would have similarities.
Okay. It's your turn.
Okay. So I did find many patterns
in mine. Yeah, you did.
First of all, I'm going to list all the names of my guys. Jensen Ackles, John Krasinski, Jason Momoa, James Marsden, Jimmy Page, and Zac Efron. What do
Z?
Yep. The J names. I don't know what that is.
Because you're
about.
A J name.
Yeah,
Jamie.
but that's because I'm so attracted to myself. I don't know.
It's your Leo Venus.
Well, like look at James Marsden, Jimmy Page. Those are James names.
Yeah.
James names.
James the names. Names bonds having a strong. Somebody called the Bondulans. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
You've never seen that meme?
No.
I'll have to show you.
So okay, first Jensen Ackles, because chef's kiss. Jensen Ackles.
Yeah, you know what? Agreed.
He's a Pisces sun, Scorpio moon, and Capricorn rising with Gemini Venus.
Okay.
And we're gonna highlight the Scorpio moon and Capricorn rising. John Krasinski, Libra sun, Libra moon, Gemini rising, and then highlight on the Scorpio Venus. Zac Efron, Libra sun, Virgo moon, highlight that Capricorn rising again, and highlight the Scorpio Venus again. Jason Momoa, Leo sun, highlight Scorpio moon, and then I don't have his rising, but he has a Leo Venus, like myself.
Yeah, like you.
Which fits in with him. Look at him. He's a tan guy.
Yeah.
He's got golden brown long hair,
Yeah,
fucking
he
lion's
is
mane.
gorgeous. He's not my
Um,
type, but he's
yeah,
gorgeous.
but he's a Virgo sun, which I've had Virgo in here also before. A Gemini moon. I don't have his rising, but he is a Scorpio Venus, so highlight that. And then Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin. I used to be so attracted to him, honestly, at any age that he was,
Mm.
because it was Jimmy Page. He gives me the ick now though, because he was like in his late 20s and he had like a 14-year-old girlfriend. So ew,
Oh,
gross.
yucky.
But he's a Capricorn sun, so highlight the Capricorn. You got Cancer moon, Scorpio rising, so highlight that. And then he's got a Sagittarius Venus. So a lot of Scorpios, a lot of Capricorn, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
Scorpio and Capricorn energy that I'm very attracted to. And that comes from my Capricorn North Node, because you're always subconsciously attracted to um things that are the energy of your North Node,
Yeah,
because that's where you're actually
well, that
supposed to be
makes
going
sense.
to. Yeah. So Capricorn energy. And you know who I failed to put on here? So I'm gonna look it up right now. So my apologies. Um, but it's Jim Carrey.
I just looked him up
You
because
did?
I also think he's attractive. He
He's
is
a
a
Capricorn.
Capricorn sun. He has a Scorpio rising and a he's a Capricorn sun, Gemini moon, Capricorn Venus with a Scorpio rising.
Wow, look at that. 2 Capricorns and a
And
Scorpion
he
for me.
has an Aquarius Mercury, Aquarius Jupiter, Aquarius Saturn.
Well, that explains how
Yep. And his north node is
crazy
in
he is right now.
Leo. So that
Ah.
there you go.
So yeah, and that would be my 6th J name.
Yeah. Because you said James Marsden, and then
Uh-huh.
you were talking about Sonic because he's in Sonic, and then
Yeah.
I thought Jim Carrey. And
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I do think Jim Carrey is attractive when he
Mhm.
was younger and now. He's still attractive.
Yeah, for me that's like Capricorn energy all over, but I'm seeing a lot of Scorpio Venus.
I just remembered that. So I really like Ghost Adventures.
Mhm,
I love Ghost Adventures. And I do think that Zach is attractive.
mhm.
But I am more attracted to Aaron, and I love his energy. He is a Aries sun with an Aries moon and a Venus in Pisces. His Mars is in Cancer. He also has his Mercury in Aries, his North nodes in Scorpio. I must be attracted to like Aries energy too, because some of my guys had Aries moons,
I was going to say
and I
that's
married somebody with an Aries moon.
mhm.
Like Aries,
I have an Aries
Scorpio,
moon.
Aquarius energy. I'm
Mhm.
just drawn to it.
You're heavily drawn to Mars energy.
Most of my chart is masculine energy. I've only got two feminine energies in my chart aside from my north node, and it's my moon and my Saturn. The rest of me is masculine. I was going to say, because my birth chart is literally like half Aquarius, half Sagittarius, with like a sprinkle of Libra, and then my Cancer and my Taurus placement, and that's it. I'm very straightforward with my birth chart. It was super easy to memorize.
It
And knowing that like in my birth chart it's mostly masculine energy makes
mhm.
me feel better about my appearance being more edgy and not so like
Soft.
fashionable. I mean, like
Yeah.
I have a fashion sense. Obviously, I
Yeah.
work in fashion, but my fashion sense isn't like dainty, flowy, feminine. It's a lot of like
Hard.
harder aspects. Yeah,
Yes. And whereas like when you have
bold,
higher,
bold.
yes,
Yeah.
when you have higher feminine energy, it's very soft, it's
Mm-hmm.
very calm, um calm, cool and collected.
Mm-hmm. That's my mom's take.
Interesting. I I don't know. I The impression that I get from Stevie Nicks is that she is so much for the band
Mm-hmm.
than she is for herself
Yeah.
and her personal life.
Mm-hmm.
Like to the point where she makes Fleetwood Mac and music her personal life. That is
Yeah.
her personal life. I love Stevie Nicks, and I liked a lot of the things she stood for, but I honestly think Christine McVie's voice was prettier.
I noticed that when I am listening to Fleetwood Mac songs, my favorite ones are when Christy is singing and not Stevie.
Yeah.
I've noticed that. Like the ones that
Mhm.
I prefer to sing along to are with Christy and not Stevie.
Yeah. I think I don't know. To Stevie Nicks' voice to me is very, I don't want to say harsh, but it has
Sharp,
that like,
maybe? Yeah.
yes, that sharpness to it that's like, it's not soothing,
Yeah.
but
Chris
it's very, a little, there's just more edge to
Yeah.
it. So
Christie's is more rounded. It's
yes.
just it's not calming, but it's just easier to listen to.
Yeah, it's very soft on the
Yeah.
ears. So, and that's what I like about listening to Fleetwood Mac though, is that when I'm in that kind of mood where I just want to
Mhm.
be comforted,
Yeah.
then I can listen to Christy's voice.
Mhm.
And then if I want to like be like, "Ooh, yeah, I'm in my like
Hot girl era. I'm a
hot
bad
girl.
bitch.
I'm a witch today," which I'm a witch every day. But like, when I'm just really feeling it, I'm like, "Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm gonna cool down in the fall time and listen to Stevie Nicks now."
Yeah.
Like,
I was talking to Dylan too about Fleetwood Mac and like their bigger songs like The Chain. I
mhm.
don't like The Chain. I don't like Go
I
Your Own
actually
Way.
avoid that song.
I don't like either one of those songs, and I think it's just because I've heard it so much. It's
What was
not
the second song you said?
You Can Go Your Own Way.
Oh, yeah.
What did I say? Everywhere You Go? I don't remember. I said something stupid, I think.
I was
Go
talking
Your Own
over
Way.
you, so that was my fault.
No, you're fine.
That's why I didn't hear
But
you.
those two songs in particular, like I will not listen to them because I don't like them. But like my
They're
personal
overplayed on the
favorites are
radio.
like Bleed to Love Her,
Mhm.
Tell Me Lies,
Oh, I love
uh
Tell Me Lies.
Bleed to Love Her. What was the other one? Everywhere.
Everywhere.
I love
Mhm.
Everywhere. Um, when Dylan was first introducing me to Fleetwood Mac, I remember he picked me up from school. Or no,
Oh, God, I love that song
it was right
so
after we
much.
got out of work at the warehouse. We took his old truck to Ellie's
Mhm.
and we had dinner at Ellie's. And then we got in his truck to go home and I like laid in his lap because it's a bench seat and I like looked up at him and he's just singing along to that song to Everywhere.
Mhm.
And in his wedding band, I opted in for an engraving and it's
Mhm.
the anagram for I want to be with you everywhere. And then
Oh.
for the promise ring I got him a few years beforehand, when that Everywhere is one of our songs and then Built to Last by Tom Petty is another one of our songs.
Mhm.
That song was supposed to be our first dance that we didn't get to do.
Oh,
But in
okay.
the promise ring that I had gotten him a few years before he proposed to me, I had engraved into that Built to Last.
Aw.
Yeah.
Anyways, uh, astrology.
Yeah, the
Back to
new moon in Libra.
astrology.
Oh, do we want to see? I mean,
Do we want to see if we have any sponsors? Nope, we
no.
don't have any.
I was going to say, like, do we want to talk about where the planets are going to be when this episode releases, or is that too much work right now? But the new moon in Libra is coming out the Saturday after this releases. So on October 14th is when there's a new moon, but also that day, there is a partial solar eclipse on the new moon.
Yes.
We're not going to
Um,
see it in Michigan.
for any of you listening who still don't know what a solar eclipse is, I'm not judging because sometimes the information just isn't there for you,
Yeah.
and not everyone's into astronomy or astrology. But um, it's when the moon comes in between the sun and Earth, like
Hmm.
your line of view from the Earth to the sun, and blocks the sun out for a while. You can't look at it because you'll burn out your retinas.
Yeah.
Do not do that. Do not look at it.
Dylan and I were talking about just the eclipse last night on his
Mhm.
podcast episode. And he was like, why? Why does it burn your retinas? Like, what? And it's because the UV rays from the sun are still there, putting light into your eyes.
Mhm.
But because the moon is blocking it, it's dark.
Yeah.
So, like, your eyes are like, there's light. You can't look at that. There's light and it's burning me.
Mhm.
But your brain is like, but it's dark.
Yeah.
but it's dark. So it's like there's just not a connection there,
Yeah.
obviously, for your body. Your eyes can't adjust properly to it because it thinks it's dark, but it's not. So
Yeah.
don't look at it with your bare eyes. Please use safety. Do your fucking research.
Don't look at it with your bare face balls.
Use a welding mask like some kids did at school when we had an eclipse at school once.
Were they able to see it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I had to look at it through my phone camera
That's what
screen.
Dylan did. Yeah.
Um, which I mean, that works too. You just got to remember to close your eyes when you
Yeah.
move your phone out of the way.
The solar eclipse is only going to be visible in like certain areas. So the path for the solar eclipse is we're going to start in like southeast, like southern Texas, by Corpus Christi. So then it goes up southwest, through Texas. It doesn't quite get to Fort Stockton. It passes through like San Angelo, Midland, Odessa, and then it goes through through New Mexico, like Hobbs, Carlsbad, Roswell, Santa Fe, Alamos, or Los Alamos, sorry, Gallup, Farmington, up through Utah, passing Monticello, Parowan, Richfield, um, and then it goes up into Nevada by Eli, I don't know, Elko, Winnemucca. Oops, my mouse died for a second. Whoops. And then it goes up into Oregon, by like Klamath Falls, Medford, Roseburg, Coos Bay, Springfield, Eugene, and Corvallis. And that's kind of just the path for the eclipse. It's not going to be a total eclipse, so please be careful when you're looking at it, because you will still see a ring. I think they're calling it like the Ring of Fire. And if you guys want, like, I'm gonna link. This is straight from the NASA website. NASA made a map for it, so I'll put the link in the description. That way, you guys can see what time you'll be able to see it from where you are.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's it. That's just that for the. But the it's just cool that there's an eclipse on the new moon. You
Yeah.
know.
Well, there's always I mean, if there's an eclipse, it's always a new moon. But
Eh,
there isn't always an eclipse on a new moon, but there's always a new moon on the eclipse.
yes.
Yes.
Yes. Um, the new moon though will be in Libra because we just had a full moon in Aries.
Yes. And then the new moon is always in whatever constellation the sun is in at that
Mm-hmm.
time. So since we're still in Libra season, the new moon is right exactly where the sun is.
Mm-hmm.
What are some things that you like to do during a new moon?
Well, what I would like to do during a new moon would be cleanse my home, cleanse myself, cleanse my crystals, my tarot deck. Um, I would love to be able to make new moon water. Because new moon water is super powerful as well as new or like moon water in general.
Mhm.
Um, but like for Libra, because new moons are for they're like the start of a new cycle, right?
Yeah, the new
Would
start of a
so
moon
you wouldn't
cycle.
be manifesting things. As for the full moon, you would be releasing things,
Um,
correct?
when it's a very small time, and you're gonna get both different pieces of information on the internet, anyways.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, because you're slowly supposed to be releasing stuff over waning moons,
Yeah.
because it's all supposed to go away while the moon is going away.
Yeah.
Because the waning moon is constantly getting smaller, and you're seeing the darker side more. Um, and it's supposed to help you rid yourself of things. Um, the dark moon is a different name for the new moon, but during the dark moon, a lot of times people will still tell you that's when you're still supposed to be getting rid of stuff or finishing getting rid of stuff. But then a lot of times the new moon is when you'll hear people in the spiritual community or us the spiritual community that uses astrology as a tool for spirituality will tell you that's when you need to be starting intention for getting the ball rolling on things that you want to grow. So when the moon is waxing, like you want to have set your intentions during the new moon for what you want to grow while the moon is also growing. Before she gets to her full form as a full moon. So, with the new moon in Libra, you can set your intentions for things that you want to grow in your life pertaining to Libra energy,
Yeah.
since that's the energy that the moon is going to be picking up at that moment. So it'll be relatively the same thing that we've been going through this whole month of Libra. What do you want to grow in your life pertaining to balance? And yes, I did.
Sorry.
Yeah, my bag of marbles. Finally found it. Not losing my
Jesus
not
Christ,
losing my
Mary.
mind. God, Mary, get it together. Um so uh everything that I want to grow personally during this Libra new moon is I want to grow balance. Um and I'm honestly focusing that so much so on my household.
Yeah.
I want to be balanced in the diet and the eating dynamic in my
Mhm.
household. Um, I want to balance my time with each of my kids.
Mhm.
I don't want them to I don't want one to feel like they're not getting enough attention from me
Right.
over the others, and that's very hard when you have younger kids,
Yeah.
because then the older kids, because they're more self-sufficient, kind of get pushed aside a little
Yeah.
bit because they know how to wait for their needs to be met,
Yeah.
whereas the younger
Or they
ones,
can meet their own needs if they need to.
yes, whereas the younger ones are like, I need my needs to be met now and I can't do it myself. I
Yeah.
need you to do it for me. So I'm very much trying to be super mindful that I'm balancing my time well with my older boys
Mhm.
and, giving them more advice, and then also making sure I'm balancing my time with, my dog, making sure he's getting enough of me,
Yeah.
and my husband. And of course, after all of that, my husband is everything but expecting me to give him time.
Yeah.
And I still, he still deserves some of my time too,
Yeah.
like everyone in your family does. So um that has been a struggle a lot. I was recently very sick too earlier in the week.
That's why our
So
last astrology episode released so late.
yes, so props to Mary for that, because it completely went over my head to even edit it at all. So um you can cut that part out. Nobody
Yeah.
needs to know that we edit
That's
stuff.
fine.
We're perfect
It's
from the
all
start.
organic. God.
um but anyways, props to Mary for getting that out and making sure that was okay, because the astrology episodes are usually my portion.
Yeah.
um so that's why you have a co-host, so you guys can help each other.
Yeah, you split
So
tasks.
I
Balance.
appreciate you. Yep, look at us
Balance.
balancing. um it's all a balancing act though, but I definitely want balance in also time for myself. Like, I'm really striving for that. And time for my practice. I haven't been able to actually have a consistent spiritual practice
Yeah.
for myself in a long time.
I haven't had the energy to.
Well,
Like, I feel
same.
like all of my energy is just being exerted out of me. And then when I do have time for myself, I don't want to exert more of my energy. I want to be able to rest and store
Yeah.
it. So,
And a lot of time that's so hard because, like, you have to do so much work just to be able to create a restful space for
mhm.
yourself. And then you're like, well, what the fuck was that all
Yeah.
for
Well, and
then?
it's like usually too when I have a moment to rest for myself, somebody calls me
Mm-hmm.
and needs me. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Okay.
That's when you put on the do not disturb.
Yeah.
um but yeah, it's a lot. But definitely just looking for that balance, and I'm also focusing very hard on the balance of my emotions too. As an Aries moon,
Mm-hmm.
I have a very all my emotions get shot right out to the wall immediately,
Yeah.
and there's no, it's like it doesn't always operate like a wave does when there's like, you know, it goes this way and then it comes back
Yeah.
again. There's no when it ebbs, there's no flow
It's literally like
for
for
me.
for Aries moons, I would describe it as shooting a gun.
Yeah.
It gets shot out and then it doesn't come back because
Yeah.
that's not how guns work.
Mhm.
That's I found that that's how it is a lot of the time with Dylan.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. So I'm trying to create a more within myself, less shooting and more pulling back the string of a
right,
bow
yeah, not so much of a gun
and
but a bow and arrow.
controlling how far it gets pulled back
Yeah.
before I release it.
Yeah.
Um
Those are really good Aries analogies.
yeah,
Wow.
I like those a lot.
Score.
um
She even asked me for my number. No way. Way. Have you seen those?
no.
Oh, never mind.
um Sometimes when you reference something and I don't understand, I feel like a very uncultured swine.
Dude,
Like
I
there
do the
are a
same
lot
thing
of
when you reference
times
stuff, Jamie.
when okay. Okay.
Balance!
Yeah.
Yeah!
It's on theme. Um yeah,
We
I
did
think we're good.
everything.
Yeah. So there's a little snippet of
Yeah.
some fun uh astrology stuff anyways. So let us know if your crushes and even just your friends or the people that you gravitate towards
Mm-hmm.
have
Ooh. We should do our
qualities.
friends at some
Mhm.
point.
I already
Because
have a pattern with
I
my
have
friends.
all of my friends' birth charts. I just haven't really looked at them enough to notice a pattern.
I don't have any of my friends' birth charts because none of
Wow.
them are into astrology, so I haven't asked.
Oh,
So I'm like, meh. I mean, if they have questions about it, I'll be like, yeah, send me your birth chart.
one of my friends actually like was asking me questions and asking me to look at. He wanted to look at it himself too, and I'm like, it
Mm-hmm.
was Robbie.
Yeah.
I sent him our astrology episode because I was like, hey, we were talking about you, and I sent it to him, and he listened to it.
Aw.
He was like, oh, good, so cool. He's
Aw.
so cool. I love him.
Actually, the only friend who I have my birth chart is my friend Courtney that I mentioned in the last episode.
Yeah,
Um, or was that this episode?
this episode.
It was this episode.
It was both. You
Um,
talk about her a lot.
yeah. Just because she's super supportive and
Yeah,
she's a Pisces,
she's a Pisces.
anyways. So
I love
she's
Pisces
like,
women. My grandma's a
yeah,
Pisces woman.
yeah. I
I
think
have
Pisces women are so fun.
my two biological grandmothers are water signs, a Pisces and a Cancer. And
Aw.
then my dad's stepmom is a
Mm-hmm.
Libra, and
Oh.
she's a badass Libra. I love her so much.
Oh.
My dad's dad was a Virgo,
Mm-hmm.
and my mom's dad is a Scorpio. And
Interesting.
in my mom's side, like just her immediate family,
Mm-hmm.
there's no fire. It's all water and earth.
I look at
Um,
you coming out with like your fire and
I'm the
air all over the
token.
place.
I no matter where I go, like sun sign wise,
Mm-hmm.
I'm the token sun sign. Like I'm the token
Yeah.
fire sign. Even amongst your family, I'm the token fire sign. I remember you made that joke at a family function once.
Really?
Yeah, because we were all like around the dining table and we were talking about like their sun signs and everything, and I was the one lone fire sign.
No.
You literally made the joke about me being the token fire sign.
I think that was oh, okay. Now I remember it. That was one part one part of our family that has like no fire in
Yeah,
it
yeah,
whatsoever.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Half of
Um
your family, I guess I should say.
yeah, okay, cuz there is another part of our family that there's like 3 of them are
Yeah,
Leos and all their birthdays are very close together,
yeah,
and my son's birthday is like 4 days before that too. So,
yeah.
um but yeah, you're definitely a lot more of the fire than what at least that side of the family is used to.
Yep.
um
Spicy.
es- Except for my mom, though. Whatever, I still have to look at her chart more,
Mm-hmm.
but her she had enough fire for everybody.
Does she have a lot of fire in her birth chart? Because I thought she had a lot of air and water.
I don't remember exactly, but I have heard not horror stories, but essentially the horror stories of how feisty mom used to be as
Yeah.
a teenager and as a young adult.
Mm-hmm. She
Um,
really like mellowed out
yeah, she
too. She
did.
went from being feisty and reciprocating energy to killing with kindness, which I
Yeah.
can't do. I don't do the killing with kindness
Yep.
because in my mind, if you're gonna treat me like shit, I'm gonna treat you like shit back, which we've already talked about.
Yeah. Hmm. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I don't like being the bigger person.
No,
Bigger
fuck being the bigger
the
person.
bigger anyone that's the bigger person, they are actually why the world sucks.
Yeah.
I firmly believe that, and I will fight that.
If
I'll fight people on that.
I sometimes I guess it depends on the situation, but like if it's one of the situations where somebody's walking all over you
Yeah.
and you're just like, well, I'll be the bigger person to not cause conflict and I'll just let them do it. That's a problem.
That's actually enabling.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
I
It's
can't do
not being
that.
the bigger person. You're just an enabler.
Mhm.
You're just letting wrong people do wrong shit. Why do you
Yeah.
want to do that? Um anyways,
Anyways, thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening. We hope you got some enjoyment out of this.
yeah, there's a lot of babbling.
Yes,
So,
we will put links in the description. We have a link tree that's got all of our social media on it, all of the other
mhm.
platforms that we release on. We have a Discord now, so if you want to join that
Discord.
community, that is also in our link tree. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, stories to share, you can send those to our email that's in our link tree that's in the description.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And we'll do, I mean, we've got links to various products and books that we've talked about
yes.
on the show. I'll
Also,
even put a link into my Stargazer sweatshirt in my Etsy shop so
yeah,
you can go check that out.
real quick before we go though, when I was editing the astrology episode, we kept saying Samhain, and that's not how it's pronounced. It's
No, it's
pronounced Samhain.
what?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. Comfy Cozy Witch, her podcast. I listen to it all the time because I love her.
Yeah.
It's pronounced Samhain.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And
Even the Irish people don't say it like that
I
either.
knew that when we were recording, and I meant to say something and I forgot and just started saying Samhain with you.
Oh god. Dude, Americans really fuck up everything,
So,
don't they?
uh, we recognize now that like it's not how it's pronounced and we apologize, but like I was just
Yeah,
like
so
that's we
sorry.
said it so many times, I'm like I'm not editing all of that shit out, I'm gonna keep it and apologize for it later. Like,
Better to ask for
oh god,
forgiveness.
honestly, yeah, don't ask for permission, just do it and then
Yeah.
beg for forgiveness when you're done.
Yeah. And then not get forgiven cuz I don't forgive very easily.
I don't even
I
forget.
don't expect other people to forgive me at this
Dude,
point.
I don't. That's another thing where people are like, "Forgive but don't forget," and I'm like, "I'm not fucking doing that."
Forgive but don't forget.
Yeah,
You're not really forgiving them at that point.
no, I
Called
don't want to
that's
move
called
on from this.
holding a grudge.
I
What do you
right. I'm also a big grudge holder though. Like I hold on to things and hold on to things, and I just don't let go. When we get done, I have gossip for you while I
Oh,
walk you
okay.
out. So, anyways, bye.
Bye.